Radiation from cell phones has been a controversial issue since cell phones first hit the market. The phones use radio waves to communicate, and those radio waves are a form of electromagnetic radiation. We're not talking about ionizing radiation, such as gamma rays and X-rays. Exposure to that kind of radiation can cause serious harm. Cell phone radiation isn't that powerful. But back in the 1990s, the federal government was concerned enough to set a safety limit. It's measured in the amount of radiation from the phone that is absorbed in human tissue. To this day, a new phone model can't be brought to market unless testing shows that it meets the standard. Still, we at the Chicago Tribune wondered, how much radiation exposure do phones really cause? We bought more than a dozen phones and had them tested by an accredited lab using standard procedures. To test each one, the lab owner used a special mixture of fluids that mimics the electrical properties of the body. He poured that into a fiberglass tub. Then he secured a phone underneath the tub and set it to operate at full power. A robotic arm dipped up and down in the fluid, measuring the amount of radiation it was absorbing. There were two main things we wanted to know. First, would the phones meet the safety limit if tested at the same distance from the body as the manufacturer's own testing? It turned out that some phones exceeded the limit. Next, we noticed that federal rules allow phone manufacturers to test phones up to 25 millimeters away from a simulated body. That's nearly an inch. The rules reflect times when many people carried their phones in belt clips or even holsters, not that close to the body. So our second question was, what if phones were tested at a smaller distance to reflect how people carry their phones today, like in a pocket? This is crucial. Typically, the farther away a phone is away from simulated tissue, the less exposure to radiation. So we moved the phones in closer to 2 millimeters, or less than 1/10 of an inch. At this distance, radiation exposure often exceeded the safety standard. Does this radiation cause harm? Some scientists think there's not much to worry about. They say if phones were such a big hazard, we'd see people getting sick. Others aren't so sure. They think harm may only appear after years and years of use. So does this mean you should throw your cell phone away? No. But our investigation does raise questions about the way cell phones are regulated and the exposure some consumers may be experiencing. Two major cell phone manufacturers disputed our methods and told us their phones meet all safety standards. But the Federal Communications Commission, after learning of our testing, says it's going to follow up with tests of its own. If you're concerned about radiation, consider these steps. Still got a landline? Probably should use it, especially for really long calls. When making calls, put your cell phone on a speakerphone. And finally, avoid carrying phones next to your skin or in your shirt or pants pocket.